came Taoiseach and so on. I think there's a serious issue. And you're accused of being right-wing when you say this. But the last 2 weekends, we have had vicious stabbing events. In Stoney Batter, where 3 people were stabbed, and then in South Anne Street, where someone lost their life, Mr. Babatunde. And it transpired, as I understand it, that the potential alleged perpetrator...
Yes, be very careful there, because there's a judicial process that still has to be gone through.
My question
Charges
is this.
have been brought.
No. My question is this. Is it possible that these people were on bail? They'd already been before the courts and they were facing the criminal justice system. And I actually think, you know what? The criminal justice system moves slow. Our prisons are overcrowded. If you are not a citizen, if you haven't, and if you've got what we call it alien status, and you commit a crime, or even alleged crime, I think you should be deported straight away.
Well, there's a wider issue.
Because the justice system, isn't it? And
if
you're carrying a knife and walking around stabbing people and slashing people with knives, I think out you go. Simple as.
And what would you do with Irish people who do that?
Well, put it like this. They are citizens and they are probably entitled to it. But the point is this, that these people have forfeited their right to be here and to go through the asylum system, in my opinion, if they commit these type of crimes.
If they're found guilty of
so obviously the full
crimes.
rigour, any scumbag, be it Irish or whatever, should be dealt with the full rigours of the law.
Because there are multiple examples in recent weeks of assaults being carried out, attacks by Irish people. And when I say, Irish people, Irish-born people, every bit as bad as the ones that you have actually just referred to. There have been cases recently where people have been out on bail, Irish people who've done stuff like that. The bigger issue is the availability of bail to those who can be genuinely judged to be
a risk.
I mean, I'll give you the example. The DPP is now appealing the sentence in the case of the young Drennan lad who was killed, the journalism student who was killed down in Limerick, by a guy who was out on bail, accused of a drive-by shooting, right? This thug, 21-year-old thug, who is now in prison, got an 8-year sentence for shooting at somebody's house from a moving car. And the sentence of 6.5 years that he got for killing young Joe Drennan by driving into him at high speed once he lost control of a car in Limerick was concurrent. So after a big publicity campaign, the Director of Public Prosecutions has agreed to challenge the decision of the court for a concurrent sentence for those 2 crimes. But that's another example, and there are many examples of where the courts have been soft in relation to concurrent sentencing, have been soft in relation to the length of sentencing. I mean, even this week, there's been another case where the relics in St. Michan's Church were destroyed by an individual who's received a 6-year sentence for doing so. But we've had cases where, again, the driver that killed Roland Keating's brother, for example, who's convicted of careless and dangerous driving, gets a suspended sentence. So there's a bigger issue than just concentrating on those who are here as immigrants seeking asylum and the rest of it. We have bigger, wider problems in relation. And, the growth of the population that we've had also means that, and you might be surprised to hear me say it, we need more prison spaces. And I've been banging on about that in this podcast for a year.
But let's be clear. One of the things that Jim O'Callaghan has set his personal political stall out is, as Minister for Justice, is that he's going to get the deportation system to work. I am saying that if the law should be changed, that we deport people if they are subject to the criminal justice system and commit anything on bail, out you go. And I actually think that, that is totally separate to Irish scumbags committing crime.
Convicted or accused?
Even accused, I'm saying.
But then you can accuse anyone of anything without actually having due regard.
But they're doing this with impunity at the moment.
That's a reckless exaggeration. You cannot say that anyone who just comes in seeking asylum, that you're making an automatic assumption that they are a danger to other people. There will be a small number of people who may be a danger.
In some cases, there's video evidence. They're being recognised. I mean, like...
Yeah, but sorry, you're not listening to my point.
It'll take 2 years to deport anyone through the process. This needs to be fast-forwarded, because I can tell you this, that while, in the woke liberal circles. Irish public opinion is very clear on this. Out you go.
But we can't have misinformation in relation to this. You cannot create the impression that everybody... Sorry, let me finish the point. Let me finish the point, please. You cannot actually start making the assumption that everybody who comes into the country is potentially a dangerous criminal.
I didn't say that.
Well,
what I'm saying,
that's the
if they're on
implication
bail,
of what
they've
you're
already
saying.
been before the courts. If there is CCT evidence that they have committed a crime, I'm saying they should forfeit any opportunity for the asylum system and out they should go.
You know, CCT evidence is not just all you need for a conviction. Sometimes video evidence can be manipulated. Sometimes it can be incomplete. So, I mean, you've got to be realistic in relation to this. We can't have a situation where there are many genuine people who come seeking international protection.
They're not criminals. I'm talking about
Good.
criminals.
I'm glad you're saying that. The problem with what you're saying is...
2 weekends, there was a South American gentleman the previous weekend that's in custody, and all of those things. And I'm saying what people are saying in the pubs and clubs around this country is this is nonsense and should be called out for what it is. Because the process, the criminal justice system, the deportation system, the asylum system is simply too slow and dysfunctional.
Okay. That's a different issue from saying that it actually doesn't work properly. If it's too slow in the implementation, many people who believe in genuine asylum seekers coming here actually do believe that the system actually has to be operated with more transparency and has to be operated more quickly. I'm not against deporting people who should not be here. Don't get me wrong, I don't believe in an open door policy, but I believe in a fair policy and in one which isn't manipulated by those who are racist, who start claiming that the country would be safe if it wasn't for the foreign people coming in here. Believe me, we have plenty of our own individuals who deserve prison sentences because they are a danger to our people in this country.
Okay, well, I'm saying you forfeit the right to consideration for asylum or for refuge if you commit criminal activity, and I include in that knife slashing around the place.
I don't want anyone who...
I've seen the videos. It's outrageous.